And if we just get 1% better every single day, we will be a completely transformed person. Well, if that works in the business sector, why wouldn't that work in the spiritual sector? I'm going to be 1% better. I'm going to spend 1 more minute communicating with God. I'm going to forgive that person 1 more time. I'm going to say 1 last bad word, whatever it may be. But I wonder if that would apply to our lives. Like, being a follower of Jesus isn't just showing up at church. It is looking like Jesus Monday through Saturday. And that's what I want people to know. The church isn't going to be.
I think.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, the sustenance that you get when you do spend that 5 minutes, you want, and you don't even think about it. You end up spending 6 and then 7 and then 8, and then associated to atomic habits, you're now creating a habit stack that's like, anytime you're waiting for your coffee to brew, instead of coffee and then Jesus, it's like Jesus while I wait for the coffee, like, let's brew together. Right. And so you're creating this element of practice that is really that. It's practice, it's progression, it's sanctification. Yes. Doesn't have to be so serious. It is. It's very important. I'm convicted on the daily for different things, but it's like, it doesn't have to be so structured, I guess is what I should say, rather than serious, because it is a serious conversation.
We've made a religion out of our relationship with God. And I that feels cliche, but it really has. Like, we've almost made it like this tick box things that we have to do. Yeah. No, it's literally how awkward and weird would it be if we went to dinner and I had my to-do list. Okay, Tamra, tell me that you love me. Okay. So let's talk about your pain. Oh, you want me to forgive you? Like, how weird is that? We approach God in this way. And I'm like, can we just keep it real? Like, God wants us to be real with him. Have a normal conversation, like a normal friend, because that's what he is. He says, no longer do I call you servants. I call you friends. So I get turned up about that.
I love it. And thank God for the chat right now, because James Clear is the Atomic Habits. James, we're going to tag you.
Yes.
I love it. So I just feel, there's so many different ways that we could go with this conversation right now. And I really think that one of the biggest things that is so critical, and it's associated to identity, is this conversation of sex. It's this conversation of shame associated to sex, and sex, whether it's identity or sex, whether it's intimacy, because this is not only a part of my story, it's a part of the book that I wrote, Always Becoming Sex, Shame, and Love. I want to send you a copy after this, so I got to get your Addie before you leave. But I just said Addie. I am just like coming out hot with some good lingo today. Oh my gosh, my 8-year-old's rubbing off on me already. But really, Jasmine, I want to hear, I just called you your sister's name, Bianca. What is it that you're really feeling is the word for not just women, but for adolescents who are walking through the fire of who they are in the Lord, or not even knowing the Lord, but they're being pressured constantly, whether it's through Instagram, Snapchat, all of these places, to devalue who it is that they are?
Wait, I'm so sorry. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, just like in the conversation associated to shame, connected to sex, connected to like God's desire for sex and intimacy in our covenant marriage, and how there's just a lot of demoralization and devaluation of our sexual identity connected to love, I guess, is really the end all be all.
So I think I just want to make sure that I'm answering. I think I'll take a stab at it, and if I'm
go for it.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's.
From the beginning of time, I think one of the enemy's greatest tactics is hanging shame over our neck, like a yoke of bondage. And I am passionate about healthy relationships. From the very beginning, in the book of Genesis, God says, let us make man in our image. In Hebrew, that word is Elohim. El is God, which is singular. Elohim is God, plural. So if God was in community, God wants us to be in community.